Bamenda road neglect fuels insecurity and economic strain along the Bamenda-Bambili trajectory. A Kenya Defense Forces helicopter tragically crashed on a residential building just outside Nairobi, Kenya. This and more in this newscast. We meet again today, the 8th of August 2025 at 7 p.m. on Abakwa Television for the primetime newscast. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. For presentation, I am Schneider Williams. We begin today in Bamenda. A surge in theft and attacks targeting travelers along the Bamenda-Bambili-Bambwe road has raised serious alarm among residents and business owners, with the deteriorating state of the road identified as a major cause. Details with Non Kelly.
Rising attacks on vehicles and road users in recent weeks has left residents of Bamenda grappling with safety concerns amid economic challenges already caused by the ongoing Anglophone crisis. Travelers have shared accounts of armed robberies, assault on vehicles, and they believe this has been exacerbated by the severely degraded road network. The deep potholes force vehicles to move at a snail's pace, rendering them easy targets for criminals, especially at night. The potholes are so deep, you have to navigate them like an obstacle course. It's incredibly dangerous and it makes you an easy target, said one traveler. In response, taxi drivers on the Bamenda-Bambili route are increasingly taking shortcuts to avoid the worst sections. However, these shortcuts have heightened risk of passengers, with some drivers accused of theft or leading travelers to unsafe areas. Roads have been badly degraded in the city of Bamenda for a long time. The persistent road neglect has taken a toll on the city's economy. The threat of theft and vehicle damage has deterred trade, driving up transportation costs and inflating prices for essential goods and services. These roads are the lifeblood of our economy, stated a businessman from Bingo, who frequently travels to Bamenda. Without proper infrastructure, we cannot hope to attract investment, create jobs, and improve the lives of our people. The situation has also restricted access to critical resources, including healthcare and education, placing additional strain on already vulnerable communities. Residents think the combination of insecurity and bad roads threatens to deepen an instability in the city if left unaddressed.
In other news, the divisional officer of Moyoka, Ngachu Nzwami Sylvain, has been installed by the senior divisional officer for FACO, Viang Mekala. During a handover ceremony on August 7, 2025, Ngachu was tasked with ensuring the return of peace and reviving the economy of Moyoka, known as the breadbasket of the Southwest region. Ngachu takes over from Tani Akwo, who served the area since 2020. Moyoka is one of the hardest hit divisions separated by separatist activities in FACO. In Yaoundé, some 13 mayors from the ruling party CPDM gathered at the Unity Palace yesterday, August 7, 2025, to formally endorse party chairman Paul Biya for the October 2025 presidential elections. Staff Lady Non Kelly with the details.
The delegation, led by Douala City Mayor Bassandine, was received Thursday, August 7, 2025, at the Unity Palace by Ferdinand Gongo, Secretary General at the Presidency, in his capacity as President of the Strategic Committee charged with steering President Biya's campaign strategy. Prominent among the group were the city mayors of Limbe, Kumba, and Bamenda, including Paul Achombeng, who jointly represented the formal endorsement letter In their message, the mayors hailed President Biya as a symbol of peace, stability, and institutional continuity, emphasizing his leadership as a unifying force for the nation. They pledged to take the message of support to the grassroots, mobilizing voters in every corner of the country to secure a resounding victory for the long-serving leader. We are committed to ensuring massive voter turnout and unwavering backing for President Biya during this decisive election season, the mayors declared.
The mayors of Cameroon have that opportunity to reiterate the confidence, the support that we have for the head of state.
Bamenda people, I speak to you now from the Unity Palace that these elections, we will go in as one man, come out victoriously as one people, and all the developmental projects that our head of state has promised for us, we'll see them real.
The endorsement comes as Cameroon enters a critical political period, with the campaigns expected to intensify in the coming weeks.
Again, in other news, Cameroon and a Spanish firm have signed a memorandum of understanding for the supply and installation of 100,000 high-efficiency 250-watt solar street lights, smart lighting management systems along the Yaoundé-Bafoussam Highway. The deal was sealed during a ceremony chaired by the Minister of Water and Energy, Gaston Elundu Esomba, in the presence of executives from the Spanish firm. We move to foreign news, where in the Democratic Republic of Congo, armed fighters from the rebel group have killed hundreds of civilians after numerous attacks. Reports identify victims of these circumstances to be mostly women and children. Ngashi Sharon has details in the following report.
Armed fighters from the M23 rebel group killed at least 319 civilians in a series of brutal attacks between July 9th and 21st in the 4 villages in Rutshuru Territory, North Kivu Province, in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Most of the victims were local farmers, including 48 women and 19 children who had been camping in their fields during planting season. The killing comes despite a ceasefire agreement recently signed in Doha, raising serious concerns about the rebels' commitment to peace. The UN Human Rights Office have condemned the killings, with spokesman Jeremy Lawrence calling for an immediate end to all attacks on civilians and for those responsible to be held accountable. The UN also reported additional atrocities in South Kivu and Ituri provinces in July, linked to other armed groups such as ADF and Codeco. The UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk urged all parties to fully respect international and humanitarian human rights law, to honor their commitments under the Doha Declaration to end the circle of violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
Over in the USA, the U.S. State Department has implemented a 12-month pilot program effective August 20, 2025, requiring citizens of Malawi and Zambia to pay a visa bond of $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 for business or tourist visas. These countries were selected due to high visa overstay rates. Malawi rated at 14.32%, Zambia at 10.45% per the 2023 DHS Overstay Report. The bond incentives compliance by requiring travelers to depart the U.S. on time, with refunds issued upon timely departure. According to Donald Trump, and I quote, "Whenever folks from Malawi and Zambia visit the U.S., they dive into our juicy burgers, savor the vibes, and get a little too cozy with the American charm, making the trip back home feel like leaving a Netflix series on a cliffhanger. We now journey to Kenya, where the Defense Forces helicopter tragically crashed on a presidential building in the Dagama area of Mwihoko Secondary School, just outside Nairobi, before bursting into flames. The helicopter had 8 people on board, recording the claim of 6 lives and leaving 2 injured. Staffman William Sonka gives us the details in the report.
Kenyan Defense Force KDF helicopter strategically crashed on a residential building in Dagama, area of Mwihoko Secondary School, just outside Nairobi, before bursting into flames. The incident occurred around 2 p.m. yesterday, including casualties, and the cause of the crash are still emerging. The helicopter had 8 people on board, claiming 6 lives, leaving 2 injured. According to the press release from the Kenyan Civil Aviation Authority, the aircraft, which was heading to Somalia, lost contact with the air traffic control 3 minutes after takeoff. On board were doctors, nurses, and crew members. The crash triggered a swift emergency response, with both military personnel and civilian rescuers on the ground. Rescue efforts are currently ongoing as authorities work to rescue the scene and assess the situation. Exit.
This is the situation. You can see. Hawa ni wananchi wamejaa hapa. This is terrible. Mwihoko sio kuzuri. Ambulances, watu wengine wamepatwa kwa nyumba ndani. So kuna uwezekano kuna wengine walikuwa ndani ya nyumba. And ndege so far hakuna mtu amepatikana hata mmoja. Ni helikopta ya wanajeshi. Helikopta ya wanajeshi. Hatujui ni nani aliyekuwa ndani. Lakini ni ya wanajeshi. It's a military chopper. This is Mwihoko. Things are not okay. Mambo hapa ni live na ni mbaya.
Eyewitnesses report a loud explosion followed by a thick smoke billowing from the crash site. Emergency responders, including firefighters, population, police, and military personnel who were at the scene battling with the blaze and conducting rescue operations. The extent of the injury or fatalities remain unclear at this time, and an official statement from the Military of Defense or the KDF is still being expected. The area has been cordoned off as investigations begin into what may have caused the crash. The cause of the crash is still unknown. Meanwhile, the injured have been rushed to the hospital. May the souls of those who lost their lives rest in peace.
May the souls of those who lost their lives rest in peace. In other news again, in Japan, yesterday, August 7th, 2025, in Yaoundé. Yesterday, August 7th, 2025, in Yaoundé, the World Food Programme representative and country director from the Central African Republic, Rasmus Egendel, has expressed his gratitude to the government of Japan for extending significant assistance to needy children in the Central African Republic. This was during a funding agreement between the government of Japan and the World Food Programme in Cameroon and the Central African Republic. Let's hear from the horse's mouth.
To the development. We will use this very, very generous resource to support school feeding activities in the Central African Republic. So the people who will benefit from this are the children, about 4,500 children in some of the most vulnerable and food insecure areas. And of course, Japan knows very well the importance of school meals. It is a country that itself knows the importance of nutrition and how important that is, not just for personal development, but also for the development of a country. That is why school meals is an excellent support to the development of countries.
In football, defending champion and Manchester City midfielder Rodri, who claims the prestigious Ballon d'Or title last year, instead of Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr., stays out of this year's contest. Details with Sama Wesley.
This year's nominees reflect a season dominated by Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona, with players like Ousmane Dembele and 17-year-old Lamine Yamal leading the charge. Dembele, with 37 goals and 16 assists, spearheaded PSG's triumph, securing the Champions League, Ligue 1, Coupe de France, and Trophée des Champions. Yamal, the young Barcelona prodigy, impressed with 21 goals and 26 assists, contributing to a domestic treble of La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Supercopa de España. Mohamed Salah's 36 goals and 24 assists for Liverpool's Premier League title, and Rafinha's 39 goals and 25 assists for Barcelona's treble round out a competitive top 5. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, who have dominated the award with 13 wins between them over the past 14 years, are absent from the shortlist for the second consecutive year. The baton has been handed to a new generation with young talents like Yamal and PSG Desiree duo, 16 goals, 16 assists, emerging as dark horses. Vinicius Jr., despite a stellar 24 goals and 20 assists for Real Madrid, including the UEFA Super Cup and Intercontinental Cup, may feel the sight of last year's snubbed Rodri. Goalkeeping honors see Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez aiming for a historic third consecutive Yashin Trophy, joined by a strong Premier League contingent including Alisson Becker, David Raya, and Marseille's. PSG's Guangili Donnarumma, with 19 clean sheets across multiple titles, is a standout, while the newly introduced Women's Yashin Trophy features Arsenal's Daphne Van Domsela and Chelsea's Hannah Hampton among the nominees. The Coach of the Year race highlights tactical brilliance. PSG Luis Enrique and Barcelona's Hansi Flick have been favored after their Champions League and treble successes respectively. Chelsea's Enzo Maresca, fresh off Conference League and Club World Cup winners, and Liverpool's Arne Slot, who secured the Premier League at the death. In the women's category, England's Sarina Wingman, who led the Lionesses to Euro 2025 glory, faces stiff competition from Arsenal's Renee Slegers and Chelsea's Sonia Bompastor. Team of the Year nomination spotlight PSG and Barcelona leading the men's list, while Arsenal and Chelsea dominate the women's shortlist. The introduction of the Women's Copa Trophy, featuring Arsenal's Michelle Youngman and Barcelona's Vichy Lopez, signals a push for gender parity, complementing the established men's version won by talents like João Neves.
And this brings us to the end of the primetime newscast today on Abakwa Television. Contributions came in from Non Kelly and the entire English desk of Abakwa Television. The news was produced by Logan Brandon under the supervision of the station's manager, King Wills. On the anchor, I am Schneider Williams. Stay tuned to Abakwa Television for more exciting programs. Good night.